Over this video, I'm going to be talking about Perplexity AI, a tool that has the potential to replace Google in the future. Not because companies like Nvidia and people like Jeff Bezos have invested in the company, which also back then invested in Google, but primarily because how good the tool is. I just started using it today and I'm pretty confident that if not this, similar tools will kind of take over the market in the near future. So let me walk you through what the tool is and every single feature and use case you can think of when it comes to Perplexity AI. We will start by the intro, which is something that I've already done, and now we're going to be looking at Perplexity search, which is very similar to Google. So once you log in on the platform, this is exactly what you'd see. You're still able to use platform which is similar to what you are able to do on Google. You have an option, something like this, which is also what you see if you go to Google, right? So you have one search option, and then when you click on the option, you will see a bunch of these options here that are more like recommendations with respect to what you would potentially want to search, or just to give you like a head start when it comes to content. So similar to when you see these recommendations on Google, which is more like the recommendations based on what you may be looking for or what's trending around you. Once you click on Perplexity search option, you would see similar. These ones seem way more non-news related, right? So Facebook turns 20, world has warmed up 1.5 degrees. Again, these are similar to what you would see here, but these are way more local, while these seem relatively more global. So let me try searching something. Let's say top AI news this week. And then let me try searching the exact same thing on Google. So something you would see on Google is you would start by these sponsored ads. You have recommendations from the companies that are running the ad on Google, and you would really not see any sort of news. Rather, you will see companies and pages that hold the news. Plus, these are more on the lines of local based recommendations. Now, if you look at Perplexity AI, it will actually go through each of the sources without you opening that source and summarize these news articles for you, or summarize the content of the news article for you. So you can see AI in investment used to guide investments with AI trading bots. Then Microsoft's AI success, Elon Musk's Neuralink, which recently got approved and was inserted into a human brain. Then Google's Gemini Pro in Europe. And you can see everything that you want pretty much is summarized here. You can see these numbers here. So there's 1, 1, 3, and all of these are more like the sources that have been used. So you can see this is coming from 1, this one is specifically coming from 1, this one too is coming from 1, and then this one is coming from number 3. So let's just click on this one. So once you, let's say in a world where you don't use Perplexity AI and you manually do all of these research, you have to consolidate all of this yourself. Consolidation is just one side of the story. You have to deal with things like these. So you see the ads on the top. Even before you read the news article, you have to go through a leg of sales that the website is trying to do, primarily because the companies like these are making money directly from ads. There are no direct other sources as long as we, at least the ones that we know about. Next, the actual article that I see here is not something that I'm able to find directly here. So I have to look through the section or the article, and this is endless search. This is not true for all the cases though. Like, so if I open this one, you'll probably see, again I'm referring to the same link, but I'm unable to find the article. Let me see if there is, this source allows me to directly get the content. Yeah, this one is an actual article. The first thing I need to do is agree to a cookie, agree that they are going to be using my information and data, and then the actual article is very, very small. And if I was doing this manual research, I have to go through this whole thing before I can actually, summarize this as one piece per se. So overall, if you look at the problems that are around this, firstly, you're giving out your information, your cookie, that you will be used by certain companies to retarget you in the future. Second, it's not easy for you to summarize all of this. So one would say, why not use ChatGPT web browsing, which effectively does the same thing? While you can use web browsing, the issue with ChatGPT's any feature is that end of the day, you still get some sort of data or answer that is coming from its own memory and is kind of modified. The benefit that Perplexity offers is it will give you the data without tampering or matching or getting any extra information from the memory itself. So that is the benefit that Perplexity offers. And beyond that, you can also do things like search images, search videos, and I don't know why this is here, but you can also generate an image. So let's say we want to look specifically for videos, in which case you would say search videos and you would get one recommendation in this case, and kind of opens in the same thread. This is something that I probably saw the first time. You can also generate images or search for images. This is in scenarios where you're doing research where that requires you to have some images, maybe graphs and stuff like that. Anyway, so it offers like extra features. Again, all of this is coming directly from the internet, which you would have to look for manually, but kind of allows you to fetch all of the information in one place without going through all the complexities of cookies, ads, and kind of mental manipulation of sorts. Let's just also try generating an image, and you can see there are a bunch of different things you can do. So you can generate a painting, photograph, illustration, and a diagram. Let me try and generate a diagram of the search. So while this is happening, the other things that you can also do with on Perplexity per se is that you can rewrite certain things, like let's say this one, in different styles. So you can actually use different models like GPT-4, Claude 2.1, Gemini Pro, which is I think one of the latest releases, to rewrite the whole thing. So if you don't like the tone of this, if it's too simple or too complex, you can always use a different model to see if the response that is generated now is relatively better or worse, and so on and so forth. So you can see this is written by Gemini Pro. Note that the model that you use kind of inspires the output that is finally generated. Now it's based on the information it has from the past and the information it can or cannot share. So if I'm asking top AI news, you can see Gemini is above the other AI news. I think this one was above Gemini Pro before. So it's kind of inspired by its own ecosystem or the training data per se. And the writing style also depends on the model you use. Again, that's dependent on the training data that was used to train that model in the first place. Again, similar to ChatGPT, you can share things, you can give real-time feedback, you can see sources, copy, and then edit query. I'm going to show you one of the most powerful features that I found on Perplexity, which is collection, but let's jump into that later. For now, go ahead and start a new thread and show you specifically something that you could do with things like, say, focus. So focus allows you to narrow down the area that you want to do search on. So let's say I want to do some market research on a product that I'm building, and I want to look at things like Reddit or YouTube. You can narrow it down to those specific areas only. So let's just say Reddit, and this time try to do a focused research, marketing tools for Reddit, and we will get answers directly from what people are talking about on Reddit. So you can see this is what Co-pilot does, by the way. This is also something we'll talk about next. But Co-pilot basically allows you to fine-tune your query better so that the machine can generate a better answer. So it says, what specific aspects of marketing on Reddit are you interested in? So if we're building analytical based tools or automation based tools or content creation based tools or community management based tools, then giving that input will help you narrow down your search even better. So let's say we are doing community management based tools. Now it's going to be looking at community management based tools that are in the marketing category, specifically people talking about it on Reddit. And now you can see it's generated the output specifically looking at Reddit threads. So all of the sources are now Reddit and nothing else. I personally use when I'm building a product or I am doing some research with respect to product improvements, I use Reddit extensively. I have to go through a lot of comments and to understand what people are saying, maybe what kind of improvements you can potentially add in the product. This simplifies a lot. Now you can narrow down and only look for areas where, or summarize the comments or things that people are talking about. So you can see for community management on Reddit, there are several tools and strategies can beneficial through platforms' unique culture. Let me just open a thread and kind of walk you through Reddit itself real quick. You can see this is Reddit and it will give you the link to each of the threads that it has referred to before answering the question. Well, Reddit is not too bad when it comes to ad, and that's primarily because the people who manage Reddit want to keep it the way it is, right? Like pretty simple that way. So well, that's not a problem. Going through each of these comments is. Plus, a lot of times, if you're reading one thread, so let's say I'm reading this one, the answer of this thread inspires what others also talk about on the thread itself. So in a way, Reddit is like a hive mind, and if you listen to say one thread, then the entire initiative that you're doing, it kind of is inspired by that one thread or one post. Rather, if you're using Perplexity, it gives you a picture of say 10 or 20 threads at a single point of time. So if I'm actually looking at the summary of say 8 threads before I can make a decision, and I can continue to do my research, which is exactly what Copilot will allow me to do. And then I also get some recommendations with respect to what are related questions that I may want to ask in this direction. So if you look at some of the answers here, you can actually get some feedback with respect to what you're building. So Reddit users often have a strong aversion to overt marketing, which is true, because if you try to promote things on Reddit, unlike Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, the mods are going to ban you. If you keep doing it excessively, even if you do a little bit of it, they're probably going to ban you. So engagement tools, while specific Reddit focused community management tools are not widely mentioned, general social media management tools like Sprinkler, Sprout, Social, and Meta Business Suites are commonly used by community managers for organizing and responding to community interactions on the platform. However, their applicability to Reddit may be limited due to platform's unique interface and user expectations. So this basically gives me an understanding that while there are engagement tools for a broader social network per se, or broader different social networks, the space for Reddit is still open and out for exploration. Alternative tools and strategies for community building and engagement beyond traditional social media management software tools like Trello, CoSchedule, Slack, Google Drive, and all of these are not even community management tools directly on Reddit. They are like separate community management tools, and some of these are not even community management tools. Engaging with every community member, and it's kind of giving me tips from this point. And then it's also kind of highlighting the tools that it was able to find through these threads. While not Reddit specific, tools like Buffer, Hotsuite, and later I mentioned for social media scheduling and analytics. So it's also giving me tools that are not directly related to my problem, but potentially, are currently addressing problems or different problems on Reddit. And then it's kind of concluding it similar to what ChatGPT would do. Now, if you would go ahead and tell me that by using ChatGPT web browsing feature, you can achieve something like this, I've used it way too much, and I can tell you can't. It will not be able to give you direct recommendations like the ones that you see here. You'll have to go through a lot of back and forth before you get some sort of output that is actually usable. And I think after the update earlier this month, it's gotten even more pointless. So yeah, focused research is great, especially when you want to focus on a specific platform for doing that research. You can also look at YouTube. So YouTube is also one of the sources that I typically look for when I want to do some open-ended research on the tools. And comments are a great place to know what the user problems are. So let me try and put one problem statement and see what is the kind of output we get. So I'm going to make a query here that basically tells me, can you tell me about the popular video silence removal tools? Basically, video silence removal tools are tools that allow you to remove dead space audio where you're not talking anything. So if I take a pause right now, that's a dead space audio, and it's not great for the video engagement per se. So I'm kind of interested to know more about popular video silence removal tools and what kind of problem statement exists in the space. I'm mostly interested in the comments that people make, and I'm going to be specifically focusing my source to YouTube. If I go forward with this, it seems like I added a slash here, but if I go forward with this, and to give you an example of what I mean, so let's say we open this YouTube video, you can see that there are a bunch of people that have commented on the video, and you can see doesn't Bard already do this? I'd like to hear how they are truly different. So if I were to make a video on Perplexity AI, and this is I think one of the ideas that I can cover later in the video, then you can get some really good ideas from the comments and the problems that people are facing. I use the Chrome extension, which is amazing. I forgot about Google nowadays. Isn't this what Perplexity is doing? What Bing AI wants to do, right? So you can find a lot of these ideas coming from the comment section on YouTube if you use it really well. So similarly, when people upload tools, video silence removers and stuff like that, then there are people who comment on the video, give out suggestions that may be helpful for the video. Now, Perplexity isn't going into the video to, or read the transcript of the video to give you answers, but it will do a quick search on YouTube to see what the real problem statements are. So our software or online services will automatically detect and remove silent parts from a video. These tools are particularly useful for these audience. And then it's kind of given me summarized results. So there is videosilenceremover.com mentioned the first video as a good option. And then this tool is designed to improve the speed of video editing. And then there are a bunch of different options here. As for the problem statement, this phase as one of the main challenges is the time-consuming nature of removing silent parts, mentioned in the first, 7th and 15th videos. Another issue is the potential for these tools to accidentally remove non-silent parts, and this is one of the comments I read. I think it was this one, where it said that it was also removing videos or parts that were not silent. Do not provide specific comments from the users. However, it can be inferred that users appreciate these tools and their ability to save time. So problem statements like these, and I have maybe 10 to 12 videos now to refer when I'm probably building a tool that is relevant to this use case. So now my research is focused on a specific problem statement rather than me going out here and typing something like video silence remover online and then looking at results like these, which I know for sure are clickbaits. So if I go in most of these links, I will end up reading about tools. So if I open this, you can see I'm talking about different tools. There is one to share, and I don't really know what the problem statement is. Rather, I'm kind of looking through articles that have been written in order to get ranked on Google. So kind of in a way, Perplexity kind of helps me filter through the dirt to find things that I actually need to read or I actually need to focus on. Let's talk about the next feature now, which is the Co-pilot feature. So in order to kind of give you a very simple answer with respect to what Co-pilot is, and this is something that I've told you before, is that it is almost like a research assistant that will fine tune your answers. So it will ask questions like, so for example, we say, can you research on AI tools? It should ideally ask you a question. You can see understanding question. Yes, it will ask you a follow-up question to fine-tune your answer. So it's asking if I want to do research on computer vision, machine learning, robotics. So I'll do robotics, and then it will now focus its search on AI tools on robotics, right? So this is what it allows you to do. It allows you to fine-tune your queries better so you can generate better overall answers without investing or too much time or doing a lot of back and forth. Again, Copilot is, I think, available only to the premium users. That's my assumption. And you get like around 600 searches a day with Copilot. Yes, you can see 581 left, so I've been using it quite often today. You can choose to turn off Copilot if you find it too annoying, and based on at least my usage so far, I think it's not doing as much difference as it would if I were new to the platform, right? So if I were new, I would not put questions that are fine-tuned, and especially if you use ChatGPT extensively, at this point you should be in a position where you're doing way more focused prompts than writing fine-tuned open-ended prompts here. Something we used to do a lot on Google, but ChatGPT over time has reached a point where if you don't give it very clear prompts, it's not going to give you a very clear answer, and it gets really annoying really quick. So now let's talk about attach, and this is similar to the ChatGPT feature. It's only different in one way, is that ChatGPT would modify your answers based on its previous knowledge, which in my observation Perplexity will not do. But it's again open to debate because it's generating the answer end of the day, which is not very different from what ChatGPT or Claude would do on the platform. So let me find a PDF to attach here, and let's do some Q&A. So what I have with me right now is the Future of Work report by Microsoft, and I'm going to be asking a very open-ended question. What is this report about? You can also choose to summarize this, but I'm going to be asking what is this report about because I want to ask a follow-up question. And you can see Copilot is also active when we are doing this. By the way, if you think that this is all the platform does, it's not. What you will see next is way more powerful. It's similar to what AutoGen does, which is effectively your AI agent, and you can actually create templates to do auto research for you. We're going to be talking about that next. You can see the summaries here, and it's kind of summarizing the key points from the document. LLMs for information. The report discusses how LLMs can affect the speed, critical thinking, human AI collaboration, LLM for complex tasks and creative tasks, domain specific applications, team collaboration and communication, knowledge management and organization changes, and a bunch of different things. So we can specifically say, can you point out some important metrics from the document? So basically now we are trying to see if we can find certain numbers from the document, specifically, especially when making videos like these, having numbers handy can be really helpful. And you can see that an experiment with BCG employees showed a 43% improvement in the performance for bottom half of subjects in terms of skills compared to 17% increase on the top half. A survey of enterprise users with access to Copilot shows that 73% agreed that Copilot helped them complete the task faster, and 85% said that it would help them get a good first draft faster. LLMs and quality of work. So 68% of the respondents agreed that Copilot improved the quality of their work. 11.1 out of 15 specific pieces of information in the assessment rubric versus the 12.4 and 15 of users who did not have access to Copilot. I don't even know what that means. But the point I'm trying to make is that to this kind of number digging, even ChatGPT won't do. I think Claude 2 will be able to do this for you, but ChatGPT won't be able to do this kind of number digging for you. So this is a really helpful report, especially if I want to talk about Microsoft Future of Work report in this video for like maybe 30 seconds or 40 seconds. These are great numbers for me to refer to when I'm kind of talking about these details. And you can at any point copy and save this somewhere, and or share it with someone else or rewrite this. It's your call. So it's very similar to what ChatGPT would do, but in a way it's way more cleaner, or it's way more accurate that way. It can also do the exact same thing with the image. So in some way, some capacity, it's using GPT-4 version's vision in order to look through images and analyze the image. So I'm going to be uploading a logo here, and then I'm going to be asking a very open-ended question. What is this image about? And let's see if it can also look through the internet, taking the image itself. Now, I don't know if it has that capacity, because Google does. Google can do searches based on images. I don't know if Perplexity can do that, but let's just see if it can. You can see it was able to identify this image as an icon of an application. It features a stylized cartoonish character that resembles a friendly robot or digital assistant with a round face. And then it's kind of using GPT-4 in order to do this generation, because it's using GPT-4's vision capability in order to generate this. So cool. I mean, it has access to the image itself, and it can also chat with the image. So let's just say, can you look up the internet and tell me which company has this logo? So let's just see if you're able to get something like that. I'm mostly certain that it won't, because it's an advanced feature, but let's just see if it's able to do that image based searching. So it is converting the search into text, but it's not able to find it. But yeah, I mean, that's fine. It's not something that I would expect out of a research platform, but at least it's kind of given me some early understanding on what it is and it is not able to do. So now finally let's look at one of my favorite features, and something that I've been waiting for some time to show you, the collections. So if you click on discover here, you click on library here, you can see there is an option for collections. What is collections? So collection, think of collection as custom GPT, only that it is way better than the GPTs that OpenAI currently offers. So you can see I already have a course researcher collection here. Now what the job of this course researcher collection is, and I'm going to show you how I created this in the first place. So you click on plus, and then you say vacation planning, and then you select a random icon from whichever you want, and you can add an optional description. This is the important part, the AI prompt. So it's similar to what you would do on GPT when you're creating custom GPT, but here let's just manually add, you are a travel planner, I will give you a location, you are supposed to look up 3 things: 1, ideal visit time; 2, budget in USD; and 3, safety of the visit. I mean, so basically I wanted to follow these 3 things every time I share a location of the place with the models. So let's just create this, and you can see it's created, and you can see there are no threads. So threads are basically all of this. These are all threads. Each of these chats is what they call threads. So let's say we open this and we say location as Bali. You remember the format we gave it, right? So we told it to generate the answer in 3 format, the ideal time to visit, and this is what Copilot does, by the way. It will ask you if you have any specific preferences when it comes to the visit. So right, let's just say beaches, because that's what Bali is famous for, isn't it? I went to Bali, I think, only last year. I don't remember visiting too many beaches. Maybe I missed out. So ideal visit time. The best time to visit Bali is, especially for beach activities, during the dry season, which runs from April to October. It's generating the answer based on the fine-tuned request I made it to generate. Let's say beaches specifically. And it's giving me the best time to visit beaches in Bali, right? Not Bali, beaches in Bali. And it's April to October. During this period, you can expect warm, sunny days with low humidity, which is ideal for enjoying the beaches and outdoor activities. As for budgets, you can see it's around $1,055 per person. For 2 people, it might be $2,110 for 2 people, right? So from the safety standpoint, Bali is generally considered safe destination. Violent crime is rare, and island is safer than many of the major cities in the world. However, any popular tourist destination have risk and stuff like that. Now, the best part about collections is not that it can generate this very custom and optimized answer for you. It is that you can actually generate any other location. So I can use the same model again, and I can tell it to generate for any other location. So let's say Rajasthan, India. Now it will follow the exact same guideline to generate this answer. It's also giving me a way to shortlist this. So let's say we do Jaipur, which is famous for palaces and stuff like that. So let's see what we get, right? So ideal time to visit is best is during winter months, early November to February. This is the height of tourist season due to city's warm, dry climate. And then it's talking about budget, which is $341 for a single person, which is not too bad. And it's generally safe. The primary concern being petty crimes like theft and pickpocketing. And this is a common notion. Like, I live here in India and I don't really feel that there is so much crime, as long as you decide to take care of yourself and you visit places where Indians would visit and not where even Indians won't visit, right? So me living in India, I'm not going to visit a place where I know it's risky. So it's always ideal to have like a friend who will tell you what is the ideal place to visit and what are the kind of place you don't want to visit, right? So again, this is the benefit of using collections, is that you can do scalable answer generations. So imagine creating like a course researcher. You can see this is the course researcher. It's fine-tuned to take the course topic and do the research for me. So let's say I tell it to do research on gaming courses, something I don't remember doing for a very, very, very long time. So if you do that, then it's going to give you a couple of options. So gaming strategies and tips. I want to create a course on this. It's going to research the demand, the competitors, the YouTube comments. It's going to research the potential curriculum and so on and so forth. All of this without telling it to generate the format again and again. It's also going to give me keywords, which is one of the things that I wanted as a part of the prompt. And you can see this is the final curriculum for the course. So because I create a lot of courses, and Perplexity is one of the next course I'm creating. So this is like a mini course on a Perplexity. I'm actually working on a very detailed course. that's going to be talking about each of the industries that Perplexity can automate in the near future. So you can see the answer is very, very interesting, at least to start off with. For someone who's never done a course on this topic before, it can give me a very good starting point. And it's looked through so many sources. Like, I would spend hours looking at these many sources and still would not come up with an ideal curriculum by the end of the day. But I already have a starting point. This is why I love AI, specifically tools that are doing such a killer job in the space itself. Finally, I want to talk about more open-ended features like Discover. Now, Discover enables you to kind of get a starting point similar to what you would see somewhere here. So if you click here, it gives you like a couple of options to choose from when it comes to getting a starting point. Now, library, as always, if you have so many chats, you can delete all threads at once, or you can save threads and copy and paste threads somewhere else. In settings, you can do a bunch of things, and there's one more thing I'm going to be talking about which is also very, very cool. It's the playground. I'm going to be talking about that in a little bit, but this is where you can customize your things. You can manage your subscription. You can see I'm already on the pro one, and I'm going to be sharing a link. Decide to subscribe and you want like a $10 discount, I'm going to be sharing that link with you. You can see that there is the option to choose the AI model, the image generation model. You can join their group and contact their support and so on. You can also download this for your own Android phone, which is something that I'll cover later on. And then you can also get the Chrome AI companion, which is like the extension of Perplexity. Finally, let's also go and talk about one more thing that I should cover before I go somewhere else is that you can actually create a custom profile similar to what we were doing in custom instructions in ChatGPT to get more customized answers. You can add things like who you are, what you do, and what you like. So for example, if you're a software engineer, the machine will talk to you like you're a software engineer in terms using that are relevant for software engineers. Finally, let's talk about Playground. And I don't even know what Pro is, so let me just open this and see what this is. Oh yeah, by the way, Pro kind of allows you to get like 300 queries from Co-pilot, model selection options, file upload, and so on. So this, I think, is one of the worth having tools in AI compared to a lot of shitty tools out there. This is, I think, one of the good tools to have subscription to. Now talking about Playground. Ignore this. This is similar to what ChatGPT has. But this is what is interesting, is that you can use any of the open source models as well in the Playground to test them out or use them in real time. So if you want to use Llama, you can actually, I think this was very recently released, I think on 29th January or so, and they already have it on the platform. So you can actually generate things like code. Can you write Python code for generating hello world? So it will write very simple Python code, and it's very, very fast. It can also do complex things. Can you write code for a snake game in Python? Now this is a relatively decent prompt or a longer prompt, but it's using Llama in the background to generate this. If you put this in Python, and I'm pretty sure you can run this locally. I am not going to be going through the complexity of running Python right now, but you can see it's writing very detailed code, and you can also see the count of tokens, the tokens generated per second, and how long it has been since it first started generating the code itself. Knowing as much as I know about Python, I think this is a genuine code. I don't know exactly if copying and pasting will run, but I'm fairly confident that it will produce some sort of results to start off with. You can also use other models like Mistral, which is one of more famous models, and you can do open-ended generation. Can you write an inspiring story in 3 words? So dream, believe, achieve, cool, in 5 words. Preserve against all odds. This is not 5 words. This is not 5 words. Let's see. Never give up, try again. Yeah. So 1 word. It's very, very fast apparently, and these are open source models, not even ChatGPT and those sort of models. So again, to my personal experience, like, I did not anticipate using a tool that is not ChatGPT and doing generations that are aligned on these lines. So I'm very, very impressed by Perplexity. Like I said, I just discovered it today and I already bought the platform. And I'd love for you to kind of give it a try as well. If there are any questions, feel free to drop those in the Q&A section. But otherwise, thank you so much, guys, and have a good one.